Hello Facebook, Tomi Lahren here. Now, we overflowed the show tonight because I had a very special guest and a segment that's very close to my heart, as I'm sure my followers will know. Now, we know that I'm very vocal about Black Lives Matter. It's something that I've taken very personally, especially in Dallas after we lost 5 officers. I believe that's directly connected to the Black Lives Matter movement. I've been very vocal about that, and I'm not the only one. I'm joined now by Sergeant Penny from Dallas PD, also the president of the Dallas Fallen Officers Association.
Dallas Fallen Officers Foundation.
Yes, so this is an important topic to discuss. You actually bringing a lawsuit against not only Black Lives Matter, but Barack Obama, Hillary Clinton, and anyone else involved? It's a long list.
Louis Farrakhan, Malik Shabazz, George Soros.
George Soros and being another
New
one.
Black Panther Party, definitely the Nation of Islam, Al Sharpton. I mean, all these guys played a role in inciting violence against our police officers and essentially starting this race war. And that's why they're all named in this lawsuit.
And I've discussed the race war as well, and I'm glad that you're standing up for this. But you're not alone. You're represented. We've actually got his lawyer on Skype as well to address some of the legal things. Because when we're talking about a lawsuit of this size, I think it was a 66-page lawsuit that's been filed. Obviously, it's symbolic, but larger than that, it's still a lawsuit. So we have your lawyer, Larry Klayman, on via Skype with us as well. Larry, thanks for being with us tonight.
Thanks for inviting us. Nice to get to know you.
And I'm sitting here with Sergeant Penny. Obviously, we are both very passionate about this cause. I want to address this to you, though. Many people hear a lawsuit of this size and they think that there's no way that this is legal. It's all symbolic. Can you talk to us about the nuts and bolts of this in a legal term?
Well, it's a very simple case, is that you have various defendants, including Louis Farrakhan, Nation of Islam, Al Sharpton, Black Lives Matter. These people have actually asked their followers to go out and kill people. Pigs in blankets, fry them like bacon. Farrakhan's even stronger. You can find all of this on our website at freedomwatchusa.org. The complaint's there. So, in fact, that happened. People went out and got killed. And Dimitri Penny, who's a very brave person and really the only person to put his foot forward on this case to deal with this thing, to get it to stop. I mean, talk, is one thing, but this guy's a real hero. He's coming forward saying, I've been threatened, in fact, over and over and over again, and this is called a civil assault. When you're in fear of immediate bodily injury or death, that's actionable legally. And then also, there's a count in the complaint for emotional distress. Now, Dimitri Penny's a tough guy, but when people are threatening to kill you and kill everybody around you, that creates a lot of psychological issues here. We know the people over there in Iraq and Afghanistan, they deal with post-traumatic stress disorder. People that are under that kind of pressure have a consequence. So this is a real case. And we have George Soros in there, who is someone who finances these evil deeds. He's going to be held accountable. And everybody that collaborates with him is being held accountable. I'm very confident of success.
I'm glad that you're calling these people out. It's important. And Sergeant Penny, when we're discussing this was a hard summer for us here in Dallas. We lost 5 officers. What was your night like that night here in Dallas?
In fact, that was the worst night of my life. As the foundation president, I got the call initially that we had 2 officers down. I didn't know who they were. First thing I did was got up, went straight to the hospital. I knew I was supposed to have been at Parkland, and that's where I went. And the officers were coming in one after the other. It was the injured officers, the fallen officers, and the ones that were, we thought had a chance for survival. They brought them in, and essentially the attack that happened in Dallas was my equivalent to 9/11. This was, these were friends of mine. I didn't expect to see those guys like that, and hey, being impacted by it the way that I was impacted by it, I sat around and I waited for someone to try to give justice to these officers, someone to stand up and say that what happened was wrong. You can't legitimize a illegitimate movement, which is Black Lives Matter. These guys are domestic terrorists, and they should be acknowledged as such. The Department of Justice, by their own academic definition, the Department of Justice says a domestic terrorist group is a group that tries to bring about change through intimidation, fear. That's exactly what this group is doing. They're using fear and violence against law enforcement officers to bring about whatever social agenda they want to change. And they cost 5 of our officers their lives. I can't forget what happened at that hospital. I can't forget what my friends went through, and I never will. Nobody stood up to say, hey, we want to fight for these officers. We want we want something done. You know, it's people around this country saying we need to negotiate with Black Lives Matter. You can't negotiate with these guys. These guys, and especially knowing, if you read their website, they say that they're black liberation. It's a black liberation movement. Black liberation is setting up a black government within your government. You can't have no black liberation movement inside of the United States. Louis Farrakhan, you look at him. He's talking about black liberation. Hours before our officers were killed, he went on he did a media interview and said that he wanted blood in the street. He wanted 10,000 people to rise up and kill somebody, kill some police. Man, you know, that's the only way he said, so he can reclaim his country. Well, I tell you what, Louis Farrakhan, this is not the country you're going to claim. You know, the United States of America, these principles, if you don't want to be in this country, you shouldn't be here, because this is something I believe in. You know, my forefathers, so many officers, people around this country, soldiers died from this nation and what it means and what it stands for. And we can't forget that. We got to get back to the basics. We got to get back to the principles and what this nation was founded on. You know, I feel all sides of it. I understand.
Let's talk about that, because there is another side that I've often get criticized for not acknowledging, even though I have time and time again. I'll acknowledge it to you guys right on Facebook Live. I never want to invalidate anyone's feelings. If someone feels that they are being oppressed, if they feel that they are being profiled, then that is the way that they feel in their heart of hearts, and I need to understand that. I need to empathize with those people. However, when we take it to a level such as this, where we use false narratives to prop up an entire movement, the Black Lives Matter movement was propped up behind the notion of hands up, don't shoot regarding Michael Brown and Ferguson. It was a false narrative. It was proven over and over again it being a false narrative, but the media has played into this movement. I believe that the media has emboldened and encouraged this movement, not only because it's a popular thing to do now, but because it brings in massive ratings. Anyone now can take a cell phone video and make it look incriminating, whether it is or not, and that officer's life is immediately in danger. And not just that officer, but all officers. I want to direct the question to you as well. Being an African-American police officer, how has your life been impacted from the rise of the Black Lives Matter movement?
Every officer that's in patrol right now, every officer is afraid to do their job. When they get out to a scene, and individuals are inciting violence against them, these officers don't know whether to use their mace, their baton, their gun. They don't know what to grab. And I just saw the other day in Charlotte, an officer got clearly hit square in the head with a brick. How in the world can that be tolerated? That's deadly force. That officer could have died. He should have shot at that time. We can't forget that. We can't forget, because the cameras are on us, that we can't perform our duties as law enforcement officers. We're police officers. That's what we're here for. We have to protect the community, but at the same time, we got to protect ourselves. And we, you know, I get it. You know, I get both sides of this so-called argument. You know, black people feel like they're oppressed. Well, it's not if you want to blame somebody for oppression, you blame your leaders that have been in place. These guys had an opportunity for years to change your circumstance. They didn't. And I come from the inner city. I mean, they told me once about saying the word ghetto, so I want to make sure I give you the right political correct term. I'm from the inner city, right? I grew up during the time frame where it was no snitching in my community. No snitching. Nah, you know, whatever you do, you don't talk to the police. Ain't no snitching, right? And that's all good until something happened to you. So I seen my cousin get killed in front of me at 16. You know, that's all good until something happened to you. And I seen my family not want to cooperate with the police. So now these guys, this Black Lives Matter movement, this nonsense, they want to put this same socialist type of ideology in place to where they want to take us back to that. No talking to the police. How you you want justice, right? How you gonna get justice if you're not talking to the individuals that's allowed to protect your rights?
It's amazing to me that the conversation has shifted in such a way. And I've had a lot of African Americans on my show, being conservative, liberal, what have you. Even if they have a decent conversation with me, almost immediately they are labeled two things: Uncle Toms and coons. I heard the two things constantly. I'm sure that's coming your way as well. How do you deal with that, and in what realm is that acceptable? Because I've seen it being acknowledged and I've seen it being accepted, especially on social media, especially under the guise of Black Lives Matter. If you speak out against that community, I'm a racist and you're an Uncle Tom. How do we get past that?
Well, I'm gonna tell you right now, you hold them accountable. And even just today, an article came out about Dallas County Judge Andrea Martin and a Texas State Representative Eric Johnson are calling me a slave, or calling me, they got a coon and everything posted on their social media. These are state elected representatives. And they calling me these type of names because I filed a lawsuit against Black Lives Matter. They ought to be ashamed of who they are. They ought to be ashamed. They just embarrass the office that they represent. Because I'm an educated black man, see, I don't fall into the line that they want me to fall into. I'm educated. I'm finishing my PhD. That's why them guys, that's why they can't control me. They can't control me with all this, you know, I'm a coon, I'm this, that, and the other. You know what? I know where I came from. And everybody that's where I came from, that's still there, know about me. They know what that community is about. They know what that community is. I grew up around nothing. I had no options. I get it. I had no options. But I came out. The only option I had was the U.S. Army. And that was the decision I had to make. I had to make that decision. So anybody else in that situation, if their communities are run down, they have no, listen, Black Lives Matter not going to do anything for you. Y'all can get out here and tear up your communities. Al Sharpton encouraged all these people to get out here. We need to hold everybody accountable. We need to block off businesses and destroy this, that, and the other. You know what? Y'all gonna destroy y'all community.
Your own economic opportunities.
There you go.
I don't know what CVS ever did to them, but they sure seem to be quite riled up at their businesses and the communities in their very own neighborhoods, ripping them apart, pulling it apart, setting it on fire. And you and I, share the same sentiment. I don't care if you're white, black, purple, orange. I don't care what color you are. Get up, get dressed, go to work. No one owes you anything. You, by virtue of being born, no matter what skin color you are owed nothing. You make everything for yourself in this world. You've done that. Thank you for being a vocal voice. They're going to come after you, but we're going to stand strong together. Thanks so much for being with us.
You know what? I want to just tell everybody, I need the nation to stand up and get behind me. If you want to support me, go to sergeantpenny.com, SGTPENNIE.com. Support me. Right now, I'm walking through this fight because I'm trying to save this nation. Anybody can say what they want to say, but I lost 5 brothers on that night, and I'm not losing anymore.
Thank you so much for being with me. I will tweet
that. He's a true American hero.
And that was, that was Larry chiming in as well. Larry, thanks for being with us. Thanks for taking this on.
Really appreciate it, sincerely.
It's hard to be bold sometimes, but the three of us are going to be fearless, and we're going to fight this because we have a voice as well, and we're going to use it. We have our First Amendment rights because we live in the greatest nation on the face of the earth. Thank you guys for being with me. Here at The Blaze, we always back the blue. Thank you for everything that you're doing. I'm going to tweet out his website as well. Help him stand up. He's a vocal voice. We're fearless in this together. Dallas is strong. We back the blue. We hope you do as well. Good night, Facebook, and enjoy the debate tonight.